with this, these panels are oversized, so you need to scribe them into wall. Now this panel, we're having a curved panel going on front, so we don't need to scribe this panel down. So what I'm going to do is, before I cut it shorter, I'm going to take 100mm off it, because you're not going to see the other side. I'm going to take 100mm straight off it, then I'll cut it to the unit, fix it onto the unit, and then when we put the curve round, it'll curve round, and then we'll have enough on that other panel to scribe it back to the wall where it juts out. So I just got the first always cut the opposite side, because then you're left with a nice neat cut. That panel now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that. Chances are we might have some filling to do, and I can use this panel. That's it. All I do to make it square, I use my square. Measure the other panel what we've done is with all housing unit. Just push that in, make sure it's on it, flat, can't go wrong. Then this inner side, which you're going to see, is the exact same as the other tall housing unit. Slide it over onto it. You can't go wrong. Then clamp it back up. So when I first clamp that up, I just moved it slightly. Clamp it up, make sure there's no gaps. Make sure there's no gaps. Hang on. Drill it, screw it, and then that can go in. This is same principle. Make sure it's flush at top, make sure it's all nice and flush there, all the way down, and then screw it up. Plenty of screws in it, don't be shy. Make sure they're nice and flush. Always screw within your range of your clamps, and then you don't need to drill them. Now if you want to drill them, you can drill them. But if you're using a decent screw and you're good with your drill, you shouldn't have to. So we've got them in there. Now that is set. Now see the difference here on this gap? That's the difference in the two levels of the walls where they used to be. We're not bothered about that because we're going to have a corner piece on here, curved corner piece, and it's going to curve round, and this panel which is on the floor here, we'll scribe that into there. So all we'll do is we'll make sure his brackets, we'll fix his brackets on this wall here all the way up, make sure this unit's solid, level, solid. This is for the integrated fridge, and you can't go wrong. Just as long as it's solid, and then this panel will come out here and it'll go to there. Beautiful. Make your life easier, just make sure everything's bang level. Can you see that level? Bang level, or bang plumb, as some people say. All of it, all the way down. Every unit. And if it's not, just tweak the front or the back leg. Bish bash bosh. Then you make sure that this line's running. Make sure there's an equal gap so we ain't got a bow. And then make sure the top of it is bang level and it's touching everywhere. Then you can go ahead and screw back the wall. So can you see how we've got a gap there? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get some 3x2 and I'll put some 3x2 underneath the bottom shelf. I'm going to screw it to the bottom shelf right to the wall. Then I'm going to screw it to the top of the unit right to the wall. That in turn is going to take the bounce out of the kitchen unit, Then I'll get some brackets, bigger brackets. We'll go straight into the wall and screw it up. Then this section here will be solid. Do you know what I mean? It won't move. But you must have it level, because if you don't have it level, it makes everything harder. The cooker you have to level, the fridge you have to level, the microwave you have to level. If your unit's level, everything else is level. So just take your time with your unit, make sure it's level in every direction, and it'll just make life easier. And that's it. See what I mean about that gap there? Now I'll put them blocks in. Some 3x2 up there, which you won't see when the cornice is on. And at bottom, we can get as level on, and you can push that unit as much as you want, and it won't go back. So now we know it can't go back at top and bottom. Now we'll fill that gap up and put a load of brackets straight down there. When you're putting a fridge unit in, you've got to make sure that you support this panel, because this panel's too big just to have a bracket on at top and bottom. You want to get at least 4 on them so it can't move in and out. Because when we take this centrepiece out of there, that unit's just going to start blowing like that. So if you don't have enough brackets in, and there's not going inside of it, you're going to have that bow on it, and you don't want it. We'll be able to pull it in a little bit where we screw it in for the fridge, but if it's nice and flat and level now, or plumb, it'll be bang on, do you know what I mean? So put plenty of brackets in, make sure it's solid. Now I could swing on that, and it's not going nowhere. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some 3x2 up behind this oven housing unit, and I'm going to bolt that to wall there and bolt that to wall there. So everything's bolted in. So there's no danger of this unit coming out. And then we're ready really. That's for this dishwasher. That unit will just pull out, it's an exact 600 gap. They're level, this is going to be a washing machine, that's going to be a washer dryer. But I have not got them because they're on shortage. So they're coming, they're supposed to be coming tomorrow. So hopefully once they come, we'll be able to bang them in. We'll just have a nice clean up now and call it a day, I think. Because there's not a lot else we can do with no materials.